democracy under attack. Na demonstration hon common na yedi. Na American abo Ghana police for bon abaso. And no di jumason stronko. Omu yade. Na they were professional. There was a baku mienu comment bi na me say about social media. Anko ye amame. Na ne odi ni nyina tonsane so a. On bom homoden. Omu yade. The sentence e beda omu ye demonstration so ase. Omu comport ho very professional. By extension say your leadership omu NPP leadership no so eyade. Say do a course a demonstration no omu timi momu edi omu akwan mu eye niema yie ye da sorry ye no yanti asemboni bia esa say oman ye ti asemboni aya na nye enka yempese beti say oh we see ka akobo bi ana obi akudi abakobo yanti nyuma ni nyina nti ebeda omase omayade na in a day I will go for several peaceful demonstrations over civil war.
Ghana for the winning say kayemu ena corona eto mo a anka Ghana up to now ye nyina yesu $1.7 billion loss. And they say the reason is this. I know they have, you know. Exchange reserves. First problem. Ye reserve ya to no. Mo de munchendi muntondi. Obi catch us say Professor Doolittle. What he said, unye bebre. Ana de we no ye ni so. Enti professor ye ni so. Ana professor unye who where attempt did no obi catch us say unye competent I say ejuma no hu anu ejuma no anya ni ye ejuma no de wo ye no enye fe eno ya attempt did and so one kasa to be bia wa no kasa wo apart from Achim Sakawa no wo say wo Nana Akufo-Addo wo ni we busuafo Ghana sika no wa sheda e na wo ye wa techiri e na Gabi obodi o Bumpty Ken Bedieto eno mu wies kanama. If we go and say this today, anybody in Ghana eko jina radio eka say John Mahama president ni nuanom we omo na maye den omo frontier man ena omo ye hwifo a will it be good? Was anybody arrested? I mean, these are very serious matters which sometimes because Nana Akufo-Addo was tolerant and President John Kufuor before him, some people take it for granted.
Abusia mamenchi a na me mo akwa ba fa ombra Randy J report so na ene Professor Isaac Boadi a wono na ye dean at the Faculty of Accountancy and Financial ewo UPSA ene ode ensem kakra atudwa na ne nsem a waka nyina ne se ene wabɔ ne nsem hia pa e de ama NPP4 ewo anamɔ ana se endra oye kyerɛ ya wɔnom kɔkɔyɛ ye eti wo mo hugu montene so na okɔkɔhwɛ enipa mpempem a epudi akyire pa a enso so wo mu wie ya nte basabasa ye bia no a na kyerɛ se ampa wɔnom kyerɛ se wo mu bu wo mu ho pa free sɛ o my Ghana ha sɛbe obehu toro bia nipa kuo kakra bi kase ye ka koyɛ oye kyerɛ ye bewie na yese ka abo obi ye bewie yese obi ayesei na eno momo kora ba ye headline na de nti a wɔnom tu anamo no kora no na yante na okoso a kyerɛ sɛ ohwɛ kwan a NPP4 fa so kyerɛ sa de we no mamu yehu sa mpaka bi mamu ka bi no wɔno mote ase pa ɛno da nkyɛn so a yemisa wɔnom sɛ ɛde mpanti ɛna wɔnom yɛ sa wɔyɛ kyerɛ no inti NDC aban no wahyɛda abu na so mu nnua sɛ wɔno de ɔnte sɛ odogo bi enu abe Ghana fo su a ɛnya ade sɛ NDC aban wɔte inti wɔno no bibia ɛmfa ne ho inti ɛmfa ho ne de mobɛyɛ bia no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama onye na adwene sɛ ɔba betie obi a akosɛm ti ono de wayi nani afiri niema bi a ɛkɔso bia na emom sa aban ne obi a ɔte Ghana fo sufrɛ na wɔte Ghana fo pa na wɔte Ghana fo ase a enka aban ne bɛma ne na yɛ ntia sɛ so me ma esu no ma me nkɔ na me nkotie wo mo na me mmisa de ha wo mo na me hwɛ sɛ bia metimi atu ho na mo enso ebesi nei aban no wabɔ me mfi taduku ɛna wɔde ɛnenam aba bɛyɛ nsɛm bebre no a ɛno da nkyɛn so a Michael Oquaye Jr. a wɔyɛ NPP communication team member ɛne wɔno so watu bi de amane Ghana watu bi de amane gold board papa wɔ sika twitwiridie a afa wɔ mo nsase amene IMF for de nkrata aba bonten ya wɔkyerɛ sɛ wohwɛ ka sɛ Ghana gold board nko a abɔ 2025 nko a no a ɛkyen wɔhwe ho nwi na nso same gyamfida so ne nam hɔ no ma obiara mfa nkyerɛmu papa biara nhyɛ da mbae a ne nyinaa no na kyɛ sɛ yɛmfa buo biara na anidie biara mfa mma Ghana firi sɛ sɛbisɛbi yɛdwene sɛ Ghana yɛ ɔman paa kadeɛ kɔ so no saa bere no kɛndisi aban de nkyerɛmu aba na nso so ɛhyehyɛ yɛto ɛna yɛde nanam hɔ yɛnya adagye ne yɛntie mpanimfoɔ yi nsɛm wɔ nnɛ wɔnom kan wɔ Peace FM na yenso so yemfa bi enye adesua wadaro ma mesere se obe like me video yi dia ma me share afi enso so fo adwen kyere bra ye nyina ne yenkenkan bi ne yentimi hwua de ne adwen foforo mfemfere mu nkyɛn
democracy under attack
say no de ni kwan ano no
is democracy under attack
yo be bon komo yi first of all me chia wetifo nyina na na Friday intino obianya ready for weekend while be spend day for family why so obey there obetu kan e be ka koye there say yen so no na ya kan na enra minia democracy democracy and attack demonstration crofo no
we pa
massive turnout no madam for be and I'm in the program be say no re e Sheraton Hotel. Now, or share we no so crowd no or say Allah and I'm saying Jesus will you who say yes I'm out for any break. Now, so democracy and the attack here can one say me. What is the problem? What is the issue? We are not talking. Idea here church mu say President John Mahama ne wa ban sana mo handle ne may be there enye papa. Na me try o nti a me kan sa. Me start on the angle of Dr. Baumia recent appeal. Ye chi obi say we didn't attempt. Inti ye chi na to no. Dr. Baumia say Mr. Mo not in my name. I have a tough skin. I can handle it. It was not a threat in my life, to my life. We a free speech. Munyano. Ena yamano koe. Na behwe mi nuanu mu bi wo krom ha. Ena Dr. Baumia no ono beche police yombe. Ena criminal way na way omo kan de omo pa na me say na ndisi mu ninkai ho. Some of you are not students of politics. And now mu bi no sisi na mo ba game no nti mu ntiase. But let me remind you. The first reminder I gave them 2010 mo amuni efi kakra no be kai. My friend Edu Jensi. And Okoka, President Mills was him. President Mills told the police to let him go. And Omujano. The second one was John Kuma. Oh, Kada Ongai. 2011.
Mekaiba.
Yeah, Chief John Kuma. President Atta Mills. I say, not in my name. Let there be free speech. Because that time, no, then the criminal libel, no, had been passed by Nana Akufo-Addo as Attorney General under Akufo into President Mills there. Asumdwe hini on pese ade we ba be koka na be we sa no inti no se winje mu na sa asumdwe hini nso de bia me de bo Dr. Baumia abaso ya boni din didade ba me se chia no asumdwe hini Dr. Baumia yo bia sa ne academic background to say Atta Mills sa ne peaceful behavior to say Atta Mills say na oye ne niema boko oye man of tolerance, a man of peace. Yen na yehu election. Oh bebre say it went against the NPP or say I did it for peace. So you can make all the argument you like against the politics, but at least peace lady yen him said the man is a man of peace. Just like Atta Mills before him, or see Yenyano will be coming to President John Mahama at this juncture. But let us start with what is going on in this country at the moment. President John Mahama, enye onona breso ena nieme bi ekoso under Nana Addo Akufo-Addo as president, or say or a clearing agent. Enye sa ne kan okroma. na clearing agent wo dia mo ba ya nole prosecute encrofor 7 one time go home NDC for nyina mo case ya drop ye wie yen so madam said in a case ya ba ka ho nsem so no ya drop. What is the perception? Because you see, corruption is not just about corruption. No. That's why they say corruption perception index. The perception, if it is wronger, then we see, say, it is going a certain way. And so what now we'll say, or be a clearing agent. Mudia my super clearing agent. No, move here, yes, must say unanimous FC. And I see Ghana judges, unanimous FC. Now, then let us look at the Sedina case against the Wound to Me case, for example. And no man Crawford be so buffalo. And it's mainly in protest of the Sedina case. Because you jelly Wound to Me, yes, you're protesting by a call demonstration. What is the issue if we look at law? Law is simple. Your direct evidence, your circumstantial evidence. Direct evidence, direct, circumstantial. On the balance of what? Either beyond reasonable doubt when it's criminal or on the balance of probability. I don't know scale na kwa kakrie bi pe. Enti cardinal kra me ne wo bon komo na me pesa me dey bi kra kan quick. Circumstantial evidence ye ka under criminal law no. Criminal law there no beyond reasonable doubt. So it's not even just the doubt must be there. It must be beyond it. Let's just say we are looking at, for example, social even jury trial. You are looking at about 95% because one person pay the same trial. And only want to answer no. What is the case here? Madam Sedina, no conversation I will be able to say now. Mami misa because na say there obi a law school ni bia mumu bi no lawyers ni be card na patwa ko bi.
Pacho there bi.
Unko yet because ebe ho na won so wo dey aka ho.
Pacho there bi menyanko.
Now, direct evidence here simple. Sedina case, direct evidence. Money taken from Maslock account. The record is there, direct. Money given to the rural bank. Evidence is there. Money taken from the rural bank. Evidence is there. Receipt signed for receipt of the money. Evidence is there. No evidence of the money having been returned. Evidence is there. Direct. Go to Chairman Untumi. Yes, say, I own a piece of land. I ask somebody to go and do coconut. Nipa Kronos say, no, you asked me to do coconut and galamsey. And no, circumstantial because there's no proof that I gave you an assignment. You see, usually an assignment, it will have what we call the terms and conditions. A video. You said, I said. Now, when you me yakra no cardinal. Me de say, so kona okoye plea bargain. Obi akoye murder. You say capital punishment. O plea bargain into no, you capital punishment if you. Maybe I amount 30 years. And now say law no a life imprisonment because in every country there capital punishment. You say okay 30 years no, you bet so to 20 years because you testified on behalf of the prosecution. But say wo okoye mining no, wo machines ewo ho. Wo workers na ewo ho. Wo obeka say landlord no e dey bie door no ma me na me kokun nipa no. Na de obi e door no ma wo no aye onu ni fie no. Wo kokun nipa ni wie no. Wo de akofi a wo di fufuo na ono obi e door no ma wo no. Eno kra eye circumstantial o. Ono no enko dem 20 years. Wait, what be that one? Where do you go hear such a case? Enti Ghana for they are wide awake. They are seeing say, oh, so under the tenure of President John Mahama, no the oye super unanimous FC. Because no to me jeans oya otumiye super unanimous clearing agent. Na ene yebete no, yesi said na rather no, or no appeal no, we win it. How? What is that? Now on no appeal is Uncle Fie. If any see a Supreme Court, yakoye. Look, we are not children in this country. We know say so we be now no be catch them say, oh there Godfrey Dami and start here. What are you talking about? Obey, so be the paper ever to her. Say, this is something I want to talk about. And no crown evidence in you, but with the emphasis. But in the meantime, we are fighting extradition. So nobody has talked about the appeal. And you come after the extradition to now deal with the appeal. How do you blame the person who existed when the thing was lodged? Under what logic? I mean, Ghanaians, ye di agro na say ye di bibi ye di agro kroma. And ye hwe ne entiase. Atem didie. Obi to make say Dunso is back. Ya chi no. Baba Amando. And then Isando. Ya chi omo. Nobody knows where they are. This is what we are talking about. Under our constitution, ya chiwa 48 hours. You must be handed over to the courts. The courts have adjudication jurisdiction over us. Not Yoko. Yoko to me chill and share baby MMA bail. No. I'm found court. Now court no will decide to remand you or to give you bail under the charges and under the circumstances or the proof of flight risk. Ebi akwa we die. Se ujana. Obejani. To say Madam said in adie. Enim say ono ankasa we jani da. Into oyo bi kra usually no court no be kra be say even if you deserve bail we'll still remand you because what your history no we a flight risk. Edi na ensi wo kroma. Na NDC force e den no we tukwapai. Ye ni krom ha e na ya ankasa ye president ebie na no e ka say Nana Akufo-Addo ye achim sakawa. Ana ya nti okrom ha. Imagine say Nana Akufo-Addo be bie na no aka say President Mahama any the busuafo e ye Gonja Sakawa people. Anga kroma ye beda. Ye na obi bie na no say yes ye di Mahama 10 friend no incompetent and at Mills Professor Doolittle. Oh, maybe I want to go for men ko that mistake. Obi catch us say we Professor Doolittle. What he say he say unye bibri. Ana de we no ye ni so. Enti professor ye ni so. Ana professor unye hu we atem didie. No. Obi catch us say unye competent. I say ejuma no hu ano, ejuma no anya ni ye, ejuma no de wo ye no enye fe. Eno ya atem didie. And so one kasa to be bia wanu eka say wo apart from Achim Sakawa no wo say wo Nana Akufo-Addo wo ni webusuafo Ghana sika no wa sheda e na wo ye wata echire e na Gabi obodi o Bumpty Ken bedi etuo e na mu wie sika no man. If we go and say this today, anybody in Ghana ekojina radio e ka say John Mahama president ni nuanom we omo na ma ye den omo frontier man and omo ye hwifo a will it be good? Was anybody arrested? I mean, these are very serious matters which sometimes because Nana Akufo-Addo was tolerant and President John Kufuor before him, some people take it for granted. What do you mean to go and arrest people and to be putting people in the dock for saying Dunso is back and that kind of thing? Yeni kroma na 50 kwete or say President Kufuor gold the work Ghana heni na no wa kosesa gold bars from Bangkok yanti kroma. Your friend bi sa no one patch or say oh we dey political talk. One kasa obi kwachi no. NDC you don't know political talk in this country? You don't know political talk? And you go around today there obi bie na no ape na makoso no mu na mo ye de mo pe me rent is there with that because na papa kan. We had 17 contestants in this country going to stand for NPP in the year 2007. The patrol kai now. Then I said
Akron for 17 no.
Yes, I say Akron for 17 and they Akron for penny and omokakoye.
David, asa Akron for 17 koto abayi Akron for penny.
Akron for penny.
Sabre na munye nyi Akron for penny.
Aha, thank you.
Na Akron for 17 na.
Thank you. Akron for 17 eko yi Akron for penny. Insulted everybody, insulted including my father. Who say for arrest obi? 7 Akron for. But we know it's political talk in some cases. And most people who are serious will look at the men of substance, you look at the hackmans of this world, and so on. Can you just call him an ordinary thief? No! Unless you are doing cheap political talk. So that's how people look at it. But Mudia, you come and say Kitwebia, Monkwa, Mutikwa Pai, Namu Tietium, Namu arrest Obia. And in fact, what they do, sir, madam, now I come on 1 year, Obia Nimno. Adeta Kumi, I'm telling you, and send the arrested, and be a Niso Nimna.
Adeta Kumi, madam.
Ah, me, no, me, Nimno. Me, name young man, maybe Kumiba, me, Nimno. And the man, Baba Mando. Baba Mando, Baba, Monsieur. I think 2025 March. Now me share and I'm in the dinner. And I'm not born common and man encouragement. Do the work for the NPP. Next time I continue. And I want to mean Ghana politics without mentioning Baba Mando. And we are seeing, say, what they are doing is harassment. And then about Chiobi, now they now call Yoko. Unreasonable bail terms. Unreasonable, unconscionable, and trying to use it as punishment, which is against the law. You can't use bail as a means of punishing somebody. Now I command Obi bail. National serviceman who in bail a man. 600 to 800 million. Say first one 800. And I'm about 600 million. And
about 300.
Why? And the man was in for 8 months on just bail. Sir, ain't you? Sami Jensi aye born in say gold losses. Say abano. And son na me sure asem no. Me so Sami Jensi mu a. Me so ni mu a straight. Me de na koto Yoko. Na mama me share na ni sika no or 1 billion. Na me say 1.10 billion. Or 1.50 billion. Me say 1.100 billion. Or I know I me say 2 billion. And one say me this kind of be so na me jail no be 1 year. Sani enko no krom ha. And now anybody who is accused of something, I was say a ma only a chrono the opportunity to defend himself. Yeah. And one say Bosremka, they say, hey, and then ya chill into self umpo, she has a bill the crass and the court. And if I chrono them all this time, why? Now me just say NDC for be who say a problem. Obia who say a problem with NDC no akasa so a hypocrite or nyachum. I didn't make us. Now Alessebesia, our condemn is Adia no. Haruna Idrisu, our condemn is Adia no. Muta, our condemn is Adia no. Omo free space. They are your colleagues, oh. And they are your junior colleagues, yes. But they are your colleagues, President John Mama. And you know, so yeah, they are now as a Pontius Pilate. Media me Roman sa, media me who say yeah, boy Yesu, Ascendia. Now media, okay, is he the king of the Jews? I don't know. You know. Because we know what Dr. Baumia did, we know what Atamils did, and you, John Mahama in particular, cried, you named you to me here because one of Muntie Tre, I be Mubo Mudino. They threatened to kill and to murder and to rape a chief justice. That's why they were jailed. Omumpo, what you come on pardon? Mr. When we will be for speech of threat to life, ye jail Kromha, Kufo, and I Kufado, and Atamils. And our runners, I command pardon. No, only John Mahama. It's your no dear Nasono at the form to say Abwa or Tia Bia Pepe on the apostle. And so you're chiching Crawford when you know any papi. And Kawo president, dear him say, you will come and say something. Because one, ye know your name, say ya ye Casam, ye say, and Kala Erin and Ka be out your own review. Now what you are, oh, shall one cash there. Now ye be frown and carifo. And so now carifo na ye frown and not just worry now can you. But Usubaya would take and Kwalaneri Nanka won Casano. Sa Nankarifu behavior no. President John Mahama. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, tell your people, rein them in. Tell them to stop it. Because there will be repercussions in the future. Look, some of us, we are doves in our party. But remember, every party has hawks. And you can't allow the hawks to take over. But if you allow your hawks to take over, when we come to power, our hawks will not listen to us. Dr. Baumia Krabeka, by the time Dr. Baumia took my pet, no much should I as I know. By the time Bebano, now Dr. Baumia, not you know, sign a Bessie Ghana. No, Obia did your papa. What we have to do is simple. One, the rule of law will work. So you invite you. You fat Rambo style be about you. Yeah, the choir can offer at a fee. A two, Nissan Yamano, near Belfi and Ajo, 12 o'clock to say I'm robbers. Near your share mask. Now you're about to 12 if you know. Who call you up with the Pacronaba? Or say, hey, come to the police station. Or say, Maba, blah blah. That's all. Obviously, Chama to me.
Martin.
The first way. call the police station voluntarily. Thank you. Well, wrap you up here. It will be a waba police station voluntarily there. Eden now Jano or Kwapa now the cars are crossing. Now are crossing. Now matching. Now Rambo style arrest. This animal. President John Mahama. The NTA yako two sa into Koko and Nuran say. Yes, say enough is enough. Ghana needs to go through a process of the rule of law. Wo President John Mahama, one thing and Crawford can all the time, even some of us in opposition, oh, President John Mahama, dear, won't say he's a nice man. Or Kasaye, or first time no. Now this time, our baby, dear, who ye no, Amaya himself from immediate tree behavior up to now, dear President John Mahama, and Cheye Intijai. Please, you are the president, control the country, let there be peace, and let the rule of law work.
Yeah, I'm saying, no, two in the scene, right? Mba kona yedi hon komo ba ko si ewo yesuku your university memorial
proviano ma neso kakra bia ka ho ama
memorial service. Okay, papa we say okay memorial service emma ye ni nuanom 8 sebe helicopter crash no mo ka ho na ekọ na wie no mo interview ba ko ne yere na ni ref ni di ni ye na osuye na ne raho na o kan sen bi se na ni da so ne sen kan ni kru wo ya wo wi anka edigalam se ebe kwa wiye nanka odana mmere mu no obehu se saa ko a enam so na ohwere na ade nyina no yenya ho akwan a abo man ye ko yanim ifa na ni sunare ho satiefo na hwefo na mo saa enyuma mu yesa di omo tie ni so na mo hu obra obre ne ne ma nka me say okun yebenya solution to the problem mati wona wie na memra dia ode ma ense medi hu komo democracy under attack na demonstration hu komo na yedi na American abo Ghana police for bon abaso enomu di jumason stronko omu yade na they were professional. There was a baku mienu comment bi na me say about social media anko ye amame na ne odi ni nyina tonsane so a onbom ho modern omu yade the sentence e beda omu ye demonstration so ase omu comport ho very professional. By extension, say your leadership, NPP leadership, and also a yade. Say do a course a demonstration, no. Timi, momu edi akwemu nema ye. Ye da sorry ye no. Yanti asemboni bia. Esa say my yeti asemboni aya nenye. Enka yempese beti say we see ka kobo bi ana obi akudi abakobo yanti sa nyuma ni nyina. Nti Ebeda omasi omayade na in a day I will go for several peaceful demonstrations over civil war. Se onipa enya kwan kana asem onipa enya kwan emfa ne oni tin fan todwa e kwan fa so or express na enye enti meka se a peaceful demonstration there. Say NPP, say NDC, yebeka se obi antimi nkobi na eka wasam no obi so NTB. Na insan odi to dwa no na e wo se obi ko demonstration na obi ka se bi ehana e wo se obi sa no adekodi a ehano a odi ko sa demonstration. Na uyu so where democracy under attack. Democracy under attack. HSA. Now, what kind of bro for Becca say your government there is school kakra some years ago. But sure say when institutions and norms are bypassed that protect the citizens are bypassed. And offense under attack. Oquaye any enyoma ye we are sitremu no we ye timamuni no so because or GF nsem obeka say ofa hodie onni biem. When there are no checks and balances, obi atimi sori e bibia keke. O kasa ni acho. O ka we ni abefa akọ. Na obisa ye man ye hu say oman enum ne ye kwa na. Question say we bisa no. Ya kire mo yie no bisa hu say oman ne ye hu ana ebi ni oman mu. Na o hwe ne minority for no NPP for no yeah. Now for document on present here ne almost statement almost can be for social media arrest of individuals yachicho almost and be to her for on even accountability to say won't me assign say me nyaye or kan ho asemi say ye won crofo a o man ye hu say omo de sa galam say bi na yachi na kwese ebisa ne say nkrofo e wo ho na omo so ye bi o man pani ankasa akasa na so e no onum sin nkrofo no bi wo ho a sa nyo e bi omo ye bi na on fan to dwa well so
we say we'll not kid ourselves. We know how people are doing it. And also,
and say a proper statement, I feel ho, if you know buy. So kind ye so one canisana. The important lesson is say oni ojidi say crofobia aso yo ho a almost yebi. Intema crofo gina somewhere demonstration. Ade ba kwa me somebody gina so removal of a Chief Justice, former. Until ka enyoma de boma, enyoma be 9. And on the koto era man penny anim. Say you who say way any way a coso. Until sewa for nesi form the kai ya meji say so my who penny our show so na be in koya who kwan say odo ha koso no. Sa obedia tum sa onjin tum ebi si emretwom ebi so si ene nti enye different thing altogether na se ma san crofo kwan no mo express some will in this way eboa maka bi ma make bi aban so ekonanim na yenhwe the gravity of the issue we have na obeka se ye koyanim no ye koyachi kohwe na esi ye mre bi atwom a enye bone ye de example. Even in our field, you use data points to do analysis. But ye chiana and no problem. Yensha emre under this same dictator yenya insult on our social media platforms. Meti hoyi. Ye chen kwala de. There won't be any occasion meshe obi kutupa some could depend yatem. Enye bida. No matter how the issue nete. Me san chabo frasa onko de penny atem da because enye so ya kwala so a penny enne mo fra bai o the camera sinanim na man audio o man platform ye feel anim ba nyina insult ye man penny e wotwa mo call irakufado ye dinatem krem me ma history kakra ye no common song be a buyer say kumnana do my say me no say and that's so hot there. Yeah, Mr. Niles, OTV. Ewie sabe ne re kra waka baby. Ya ko fa ne sabe ba mu. Yewie yira Mahmoud Baumia. E janim po bi. Yes, obi a oye Muslim a sabe ono nsa ewe pork ye de be kire bankrofo ye di atem until we have had deeply inflammatory and personal unchecked comments in the past. Then you know chomko yan famra yera mampani a otia konya iso ye di natem ya kan bi a kire no ye de fana busia ni enuano Ibrahim ono ankasa ne personal life nkrofo ka bi a kyerɛ no wes me kas me ka bi wɔ ha enua enye fe na asema ye bisa ne sɛ ye pɛsɛ nyinaa ye start ne foforo a ekwan bɛn ɛna ɛbɛfa so a ye bɛ start ne foforo ɛhɔ ne hia me ni etwa mu ya nkyekye sɛ ɛkɔ yewura mampani mahama na busua ya nkyekye ne bi ɛkɔ yewura Mahmoud Bawumia ɛne Nana Akufo-Addo so ya nkyekye hwɛ ye di Muslimin mpanifo atem imams asofo revered religious body leaders your chiefs professor doctors just say so my etete nam kagum sa ne wom nenim ye kama na yo ya awuti fi awuti a wote we de ya bro widium ye di bia kyerɛw we sat here in the country ye de afori obia ene obekasa kra na usro esanse ye beyo enti se kasa ye kasa de din krofo atem de enua me so me kasa ye da no mo ye pese draw line na how do we draw the line I want to hear me. How do we draw it? Ye draw say me kasa na anko ye a quiet fast ye invite me is what we are talking about. Me kasa de mano pa na anko ye why na frame me? Si ebe frame me a quiet ben e faso frame me. Si ade me kwa asuasi enkodi ma asem a e kwan ben e faso di ma asem. Yese me ntua bail a kwan ben e faso metua sa bail no. Eye bail a metua me nyes kan tua a enu nti ye de be kotum for good. This are nyoma ye bobo so. Na ya ade a I me say ye draw line e boa ne say saban person draw line na which I agree in any day. So on draw line. Nye chom eko. Abide in the policy by or say resetting agenda. Me so e so resetting chere say ne asi nyina no mami nko na me pepa menya clean slate. Na me momodia na me mani asi nyina na enko nti enfunso bi in the past. Ana ebibi na anko yi a se na ye besa say na ye sate no ya chiche nkrofo bi gu ma ya nyichi omu yie ekwan fa so edom call asue no anko yie the rumble side chi nkrofo na anko yie a ne e be resetting na e wo say ne proper resetting ne man nkrofo enya safa hodi na se me kasa ne e so me pa hwi ne e de me call jifo ni ho na menya lawyer cry and that time ben also menya sa lawyer no bill also metia condition ben attach this bill inyina dey also di ho enkomo nti pese a draw line me so reset agenda mu ye mani so emede se abanya ka se yempepa ne asi nyina e di omampani kufu atem ye di omampani wotwa mu Akufo-Addo ye di Bawumia atem ye di era Mahamatem even the vice president ye di natem obi bia ahemfo bia nya ne hye ye be den a draw line conversation e ka nyina no we ye me say eye ye ka bia how do we draw the line ye ne esi dida na dia ena ye nya resetting no ne esi dada no a ye ka ho asem ye di ho nkomo ye gusu ye bi na dia em se nya hu ye nim enya nko bia enya ndro bia ya we be see ha
mate medase papa ose ode besi ha sei na yakọ yanim kokoko dwumadi enwaso egusu awuti Dr. Samia ye wa Professor Isaac Boadi na kasa sesian kabo onso so e wa ha sei ko de now sami time kakra na aka no me mawo Emo 5 minutes. Patotio 5 minutes.
Okay.
What's the Bank of Ghana is Canway?
I'm saying Sikabiara.
Pa.
Okay.
What to go the Boka Basa.
Medase so mama.
Basha no so we in 5 minutes.
I will do that, but mama for 1 minute grant say the prof kind be. The TN say o man penye gina baby an kase. Ne party for Yagalamsi. It was an event organized where he met labor and I say it is a cast across several people, including media men, traditional authorities, some politically affiliated people that cast across both parties. That's what His Excellency the President said. And I want to put that on record. As for the remaining part of the winning the prof, we must create an exception. As for insults there, both parties will be our two political salvos. But we are talking about direct threats to the life of the president. I can make mention of two people. There was this one lady, Camilla, and another one, Minat, I have friend about me about said they make categorical threats on the president. Say make it categorical threats on Prof for life. I mean on Dr. Baomi, I mean so we must create that exception. As for insults, nobody has spoken about it, even though it's not good. We all condemn it. But when
was
we
it
talk
president
about
and just a minute. Was it president and can say on one call for you?
I can read the text to you. So this was published by Modern Ghana.
What if I play the video for you?
Where you can say this is a publication by Modern Ghana.
And I'm saying beyond the
I don't have a problem. But
what
I'm
if
saying
I play the video for you?
Why am I 5 minutes? Kadna Mamen Kasa. Ode Mamen Kasa. Mamen Kasa. Kadna Mamen Kasa. Mamen Kasa. Mamen Kasa. Why am I 5 minutes? And so we are Kadna obetimi abo. On the BOG issue, mpanyinfo say a control eka come ho dia. Enye nene hyase. Hyase if you break on 4 pencil. The NPP have decided not to read and deliberately decided not to understand what is going on in this country. Enye nene first time a Bank of Ghana
Eboka.
Enye se eka. The information that what I read is a BOG spends 13 billion cedis in forest markets. Records 22 billion cedis loss on. So let's even start with forest market.
22 billion
yes,
in gold.
There's no problem. The domestic gold purchase program now, and then this in the chassis, almost chassis boka from 2022, but because of how the program has been designed. What I say in 2024, almost boka 5.4 billion Ghana cedis. They didn't even get us the needed gold we needed. On the forest issue, no, in 2022, Bank of Ghana boka $1.9 billion. CCA, me no say, all the back Ghana cedis is over 20 something billion. In 2023, Bank of Ghana used 1.1 billion. What it means is that Bank of Ghana, operations, they sell dollars for cedis to banks. And yes, and I've seen many senior NPP people, including former legal counsel to the president, take to social media and demonstrate ignorance on this matter. If Bank of Ghana does intermediation on the forest market, how does it amount to so be a discount? And the Bank of Ghana international, when they have been given the mandate to say they are in charge of monetary policy, they are in charge to make sure that the city does not depreciate beyond acceptable limits. They are in charge of making sure say inflation is down. Now they have reserves enough to allow them auction some of their dollars for cities to banks. Say they are importers. Pesika koto niema fiama no ne aba omo koto fango IPP na aban tuya. How does that amount to say sika bia rent says can ke betim dia kosi school die and akwan. Meanwhile in 2022 the Bank of Ghana did the same operations.
So finally
in 2023 they did the same operations. And the Bank of Ghana operations on forest markets now and then we say 13 billion Ghana cedis. And your Bank of Ghana sika yedi. A Bank of Ghana and normal auction of dollars on the markets to banks and normal GCDs. The same thing happened in 2022. Mabubachelo, 2023 Mabubachelo, 2024 Mabubachelo. Into what to say? Obi can be say Bank of Ghana akodisi kebia. It is out of sheer ignorance and lack of education on the matter. That is what it is.
Mebra penny ba ko hello FM. Your friend King Edward the slave. ɔsɛ ɔma wakye
me geneso
ɔsɛ ɔma wakye na wa pa to ɔma wakye
me geneso pa
okay Gabo
you iti card na on video na
5 minutes
on tape na
na wa so wo video no boy
I'm say mo an cho
Gabo na wo abo ya ma family so we
quote and I quote
Gabo paja we no kakra
or say I do not kid myself that our people are involved in Galamsey now they ye ni hana
our people
yes
our people no there our people no there
no the people no oh can they oh yeah challenge you have to oh better asisi and secondly Dominic Ayeni asked Yoko to investigate Abanga to investigate Yami Anameboa. Did this not happen in this country? Has Yoko investigated them? Have they arrested them Rambo style and put them in custody and given them 50 million bail? Have they done that? And no can say now no I had to say 4 legs good, 2 legs no good. Sa animal farm situation na e wo mu Ghana no enu nti na e demonstration no nti mamu farm home because you be born in life me do to my crown sisi a na all kan e nyina ayenim yati ya pa okay now that we are not going to kid ourselves according to what the president told us you will come how about your kai minority just a few months ago we told the government say there's a huge loss coming. Now, I'm very happy say prof no way an area. Into no kasa or be kaka or we say but what kind of country are we running? Yes, see loss no 22 billion cedis in 2025. Unprecedented. Ya can't munti. There are ways of having losses where you use it for a certain way. Inti na ya catch NDC for say, look, reserve na build that to mo be fa gold be to yes, your person can move at the end from 14 to 10 and kebetu ayo. But in the long run, it's not sustainable. So you need sustainable policies to be able to do that. Na me de say enye NPP neka, enye NDC neka. IMF almost say the Bank of Ghana's Domestic Gold Purchase Program, DGPP, and the references here, DGPP.
Someone am the buy.
Yeah, the buy and they say
mo bo in 2024.
But mo yeah the buy now.
Mo yeah the say
credit. Mo say Ato is forcing.
Oh, bunya isa.
Ato is forcing.
Ade a wa boka eko.
Bamia is forcing. And the munya no to na say Bamia is forcing. At least then now we will take the responsibility and fix it.
Now you know say economy no
because oh no, but don't worry, I'm coming back to that economy crowd me ba because Ghana for the winning say kayemu and corona eto mo anka Ghana up to now ye nyina yesu $1.7 billion loss. And they say the reason is this. I know they have exchange reserves. First problem. Ye reserve ya to no. Mo de munchendi muntondi.
That's what it means.
I had to say, oh papa, ejawa
begin to pull the brakes. Begin to pull the brakes.
Oh yeah no. Almost say another one. Cost driven by service fees and discount. Now sa service fees ne discount no. Hwa mu no mo yes a discount no. Na hwa mu na ehie ekira omo twi sike bia omu dia e bia e crazy sa problem. We nu nyina ye niema IMF omekunu say sa $1.7 billion loss no. Enya dia e be boa Ghana. And because of the way say we know is tied to gold purchasing and also small scale mining. Okay, say President Mahama say small scale mining, no, because of its contribution to the economy, we cannot do anything about it. Then he even added, say, no dear, that's under Akamba and Obino. So omu ba omu ye gold galamsey niema ya chi omu nyina, they will release them and give them their tools. How can such a government now come and tell me that they are doing NIMOS to stop Galamsey? No wonder all they are interested in is get the gold from Galamsey, get the gold from all other sources, give the worst discount, which we have complained about, and Ghana will lose 1.7 billion.
Martin,
you will answer for those questions.
Martin, may I say, Prof, for 5 minutes, Namenko.
Yo, Nana. Assembly a toho emra by Basel 2025. Na ifiti January, February, March, April. Any who say sikabi era or mining dollars ever into the system. Dollars ever into the system. My exchange rate are now 15 to 1 cedi no, to $1 no. Let's sort it say ever form. A buyer bedrew December now call 10 cedis. Any mania the term at all is forcing so be kaya. A chese or born home or the son says cedi na ho de no a pager over the dollar. And make us say we have evidence to suggest say forex market stabilized. Your first cedi now holding a pager. Inflation above form. Forex reserve, international reserves are costro. Until Osha syndicator see who say a pager. Now question be say, and yes sir, the policy worked or didn't work. It worked. Now, question Bisane said, could we have achieved the same economic indicators or outcomes at a lower cost? I be born mine na. A ho na nkoma ye di ewo. Na adia ni start here na. It took Oquaye NPP. It took few people from the minority camp and the IMF to come and tell us say use the word a footprint. Say I buy you footprint of BOG, you footprint if you marketing him. Allow demand and supply any ejuma to determine the rate. You can say ye intervention, BOG intervention, also there be or ye intermediation. I did also a tear sense so directly involve yourself in the market. Intermediation, intervention. Open so force na seed no original na stabilize it. Intermediary entirely different, but sometimes shifting goalpost. IMF one kasa intervention and no intermediation. Na oshe eka ya bona. Yo, question ye bisa ne se BOG na sudie say or intervene and not or intervene. Yes, we have said this several times. And asudie or womra or say or intervene on specific issues in the economy, market failures, ability to control inflation. Inflation I jay na eba from kakraka. Although na wasro. Ti obisa sa question, yes, all right to intervene, but any routine work of a central bank. So all the time you discuss a economy, David. Unless we have critical issues, I was say juma and son of it my sadeno. Benye number 1 million, number 1.5. Ne konanim ne ko edisa kosi say I me beka say no adia we edo nyene eno ha bebrel yam pamwa ye toa so koyanim sa for some time. I share a report be told you who say eka ya boni na eka no anodi a pushy Bank of Ghana amana konya negative equity and yes a that. But the scale economy and your routine work I was said central bank all the time. Your mra intermediary interventions and all. It's an intermediary. Now and no one who say amount minor 1.7, I think 1.7 gold purchase agreement. Policy eba previous administration yejitum emra na ya lock here out of international markets emra na ya import oil ana ne bo kosru bebre ekorom eno kware e kabeda ho na me check me record was about 400 mil at that time. You see a chum all the way na in so a woman no and you say you recorded the huge negative equity accord that figure. In so back on say I buy a recapitalize central bank ama wa float to bond or market.
Yeah, 5 billion.
5 million. So binya sika e dia mom asoye. Na Adamson so ho ne say, yo. Ankran juma e pesika de ejuma. But aban ne say nyuma ne e co market, the same market.
See a prof we have 8 minutes.
Akoboro.
And then prof times when I was.
Oh.
Momunya prof no unwrap your plan.
For the same market, Akoboro. Say a near year.
Be or chair 1 minute.
Young co market. Any sa human and pay loan and fanyajuma. Tavasa ubu human ko. Business will not be able to develop. Share last indicator from Bank of Ghana.
And that's our last point.
The summary economic data. The confidence level indicators. Drop it. The latest figures by. It tells you. Say, ubetima koso kwa kojisika. Now kona say aban wo marketing. Now so ubamu bia. Skani ba ko yohane de bana.
Yerbama buying.
Aban. Maybe.
Kadna. 1 second.
Oh, the
prof say operations
now
na Bank of Ghana you know and ama Bank of Ghana say you do negative equity but prof can okay some kwa no
one was that time now they
oh make a patch
one
na the